Schon gar nicht bei Shetty.
Boom. 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 We're live, everybody. Hey, welcome, everybody. Red TV in Conversation. I'm Peter Clark, and as you can see, I'm excited and pumped. Good to see you here. Good to see you, everybody. Man, there's so many people from around the world joining us today. I don't even know where to start. I'm going to start with that guy in a few seconds here. Welcome, everybody, especially from BrightVibes. If you're watching us for the very first time, welcome. It's awesome to have you. If you're watching Red TV, because you've seen it before, hey, I even appreciate that a lot because you know what's coming. Super appreciate that. What an unbelievable international group we have here today. I'm going to put some information along the bottom here. Here's how you can reach me. Not here for me today. We're all about BrightVibes. Right over my shoulder, you can see BrightVibes. We're going to be talking about that today. Before we get started, well, we're going to get started with a whole bunch of things. Let's take it one thing at a time. Guess what? Hey, I set up a text line just for this. If you text me, text us your name. You got to have a name associated with the text, name, and maybe even a general question, what you're going to do. We're going to get some people on to ask questions of this beautiful soul right over there. So if you decide to do that, again, I say charges may apply because I don't know where you're calling from. I'm going to assume Europe. I'm hoping a whole bunch of people in Europe. So if you have some questions that you want to post, you can put them in the comments, or you can text us, and it's something that we're going to try for this particular show. It's all about BrightVibes today. That's what we're doing today. Today is a very special day in general. I think everyone knows this, but let's start with something here. I want to talk about this. This is a really interesting day. Just thought this was a fun fact here today. Today is February 22nd, 2022. Lots of twos out there, everybody. I don't know if you know what a palindrome is or an anagram. Apparently, this is both, where they read frontwards and backwards the same, and you can turn them upside down. I did not know this. Very powerful number today. Thus, this guy is showing up. Very powerful number today. So happy 22022 day. That's what we're doing today. It's a fantastic day today. So just thought it was a little fun fact for you to hear that. Okay, listen, there's so much to talk about, so much to do. Again, I'm welcoming everybody from BrightVibes, especially the Netherlands, Germany, Spain, and of course their international page. So we should be out there right now as we speak. I have a funny feeling that the entire group is out there somehow. And we're hoping you're on the Facebook page. So if you are, put it in the comments. Let us know you're there. Drop us a question for this beautiful soul over here. Now let's get to this beautiful soul that we're talking about. Enough about me, enough about all of this. Welcome everyone around the world. I'm going to try his name as well, but I'm going to save that at the end. Everybody. This beautiful young soul, this young man right here, founder and CEO of BrightVibes.com. So a beautiful story behind that. BrightVibes is basically a digital platform, a media brand that reaches millions of people around the world. And I'm going to talk about those numbers. It could be 20, 40 million a week. I mean, we're talking big numbers. This fine young gentleman actually has 20 years plus in the corporate world. And of course, he's an entrepreneur, which means he has a really broad perspective of business in general, which is fantastic. And hopefully that warms you to know that BrightVibes is in good hands, is bottom line about that. So he started this media company. He wanted to raise awareness about what's important in the world and having those great stories. He describes his characteristics. I like his characteristics: engaging, he's a do-gooder, he's a strategy, can-do, motivator, dedicated, balanced, experienced. He's very curious, very inquisitive. And he's just a super cool guy, because I've had conversations with him like privately, where we said we should do this online. We should actually put this in front of people and have an amazing conversation. So without further ado, I'm going to do my best. I told him I got to try, because if I don't, it's not going to be any fun. It's not going to be fun at all. Would you please welcome the founder, CEO of BrightVibes? Here we go. Michiel de Gooijer. Did I say it right?
Hey, that's definitely 10 out of 10 points. And not just for trying, but also for the actual pronunciation. I think from a Canadian, that is the best I've ever heard. Thank you so much, Peter. It is, and thank you so much for this amazing introduction.
Hey,
I'm so happy to be here, and very, very happy to share this with your community and with the BrightVibes community. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this.
Oh, and I got to tell you, I like I said, I'm such a fan of what you do, and yeah, and more, just so everyone knows, just as a person, you're just a super cool person. So when you put those two things together, I can't help but reach out and want to connect with someone like yourself. First of all, I got to always start with this quick question: yourself, your family, everyone healthy? Everyone okay right now? Yeah.
We're good. We're blessed. Yes.
Beautiful. That's what I wanted to hear. I wanted to hear that you're blessed and so on. Now, what's fascinating about this whole? Oh, sorry, were you going to say something?
I know, but what? And how about you, Peter?
Oh, well, thanks for asking. Oh no, I'm good. Hey, people don't ask me that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I feel okay. Yeah, I'm doing good. You know. Anyway, my heart's in the right place. That's all I know.
And ticking, so that's good.
Ticking, and it's beating. That's a good thing. It's all a good thing. No, I appreciate you asking. Yes, everything is fantastic here as well. Everything in my house. First world problems. That's all they are. You know, we certainly are blessed as well. Certainly blessed as well. Hey, I wanted to show everybody. I think this is fascinating to me. I wanted to because I wanted to understand where you were. I was asking. Remember, I asked you that. I said, I said, where is this guy? Where is he located? I'm going to try to. You're right. That's what I'm trying to say. I try to figure out where is this guy. So here's what I'm going to find out right now. Let's see if I can bring it up. Where your location is. Let's go here. Watch this. I think it's fantastic. Just so everyone knows, if you ever want to humble yourself, everybody, that's where we live, all of us. Just so you know, that's it. That's all there is. But I was like, where is this guy? So let's go find out where he is. Boom, going into Europe.
Yep.
Cutting right into. Is that where you are?
That's oh my God, this is scary. That's exactly where I am. I'm just sitting below that red dot. I think if I look outside, I might see it. Yeah. But it's pitch dark here, by the way. Now it's 7 p.m. So, but yeah, that's where I am. That is the city of Utrecht.
Oh.
It's a beautiful, very, very beautiful city. And by the way, the building is quite a special building where we have our office.
Yeah.
Because this is a former prison. It was a prison in operation until 2014. And they just opened it up for creative companies and for small but passionate entrepreneurs. And I'm very, very happy to be here and bring a completely new vibe to this place.
I can only imagine what you're bringing to that. And you know what's fascinating to me? These beautiful buildings. Like again, when you say building, it was a prison, and they built it on the river. I mean, it's like. I don't understand that, but I had to find out where you were. I just thought, wow, this is just a beautiful spot. I'm just going to go back a little tiny bit as we pull out a little tiny bit from that. Yeah, that's a beautiful. And you're sitting right in the. So you're on the. So you're in the border of what countries are we sort of bordering here?
Okay, well that's a good question. I mean, the Netherlands is so small.
Yeah,
and then Utrecht is at the heart of the country. And that means that we are about a little bit more than an hour drive from Belgium and about 1 hour and a half drive from Germany. And then, of course, also pretty close to Luxembourg. But it's those are the countries that we border with. And Utrecht, most people, when you talk about the Netherlands, they immediately say, "Oh, Amsterdam! I've been to Amsterdam."
Yes,
I can imagine. But there are more cities in the Netherlands, and Utrecht is the fourth city in the Netherlands. It is a student city, so it's very vibrant. 25% of the people that live there are students. Wow. And by the way, for those from the US or from Canada or Australia, where you have these huge distances, for us the distances are so small. So it takes me 30 minutes by train to go from Utrecht Center to Amsterdam Central Station. So, I mean, I lived in London, I lived in Munich, I lived in Madrid, and if I then had to commute from north to south or from east to west, it took me more time than it takes me to get to Amsterdam or, you know, basically any city in the Netherlands.
That is fantastic. I am so excited about trying to make my way into that direction of where you are. That's definitely on my list. It is on my list to go over that.
Man,
Never been.
Come around and I'll try to show you the best place.
I'll take you up on that every single day. We know where you are. We know where you are.
Exactly. Well,
listen, we super appreciate everyone tuning in. I just want to make sure, again, if we're not seeing all of the comments from Facebook right now, if we're not seeing those, I apologize. But if you are tuning in on the Bright Vibes page, whether it's Netherlands, the international page, the Netherlands page, Spain, and Germany, welcome. And please know that we're going to go through. I know I'll read every single comment. I know Michiel Michiel,
Michiel, you got it. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I know that you go back as well. So if we're not seeing those comments right now, everybody, we definitely want to make sure that we're acknowledging you out there as well. I know the LinkedIn community is here. That is fantastic. I love this. Good to see you, Dr. Rhonda. I just want to throw up a couple names for you, my fine friend, so that you'll see that these are beautiful people from Boston. There's Melody. Love Melody. I got the New England accent in the house. It's all good. There's a beautiful soul right there, my fine friend. If you want to meet a beautiful soul, there's one right there. Daniel Hall.
Hi, Daniel.
Yeah, just say hello. I'm telling you, you want to connect right there. Hey, watching from the Philippines. Good to see ya. I always love to see the Philippines in the house. This is fantastic.
Yeah, I'll probably go and I'm going to the Philippines in September.
What? Okay.
Yeah, for a BrightVibes shoot. Yeah. Hey, Jacqueline.
Look, right? Look at this.
Oh my God.
I mean, how nice is this person?
Talking about angels.
Right? I mean, seriously. I mean, it's fantastic.
He's amazing.
Love this. Andrea, good to see you. Looking forward to this. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate that. Houston Texas in the house. That's where we're talking right there. Those people tuning in. Here's a beautiful soul as well. Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
Out there. Beautiful 222. Yeah, 2022. I know, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful.
I didn't realize at all.
Oh, big, powerful here for you. I mean, this is super powerful. Oh, look, we got New Zealand in the house. Good to see New Zealand. Fantastic.
I'd love to come and visit and visit Teresa one day. Oh my God.
Oh,
it must be such an amazing place.
Oh, I still want to go there. I really
do. You know, I just love seeing all these people in these pictures, and I still have them. I mean, started BrightVibes almost 7 years ago, and when I see all the comments when we post questions and just what people come up with spontaneously and how they exchange ideas and thoughts and how they motivate each other, and it's just so incredibly fascinating and motivating. You know, it's so stimulating to see people from all over the world. I mean, that is absolutely fantastic. I mean, being able to do that with little means, you know, but then create such a community, man, that fills me with, you know, with love and pride. Yeah.
Well, I promise you there are more people watching this either live and they're going to watch the replay as well. So again, we're extending all of our welcomes to everybody across the Bright Vibes network. You know, this is not a common thing for you. That's why I'm so privileged to do it with you. And I'm just so excited that people will get to know a little bit more about you through this conversation. However, I want to tell everybody, listen, we have so much to jam pack into this, is that there's a couple cool, you did a couple cool podcasts that are out. People, I recommend they go out and watch. You cover a lot of information about, you know, your life story and your background. You know, we're going to touch on those things, everybody, but you know, it's hard to condense one person's life into 60 minutes plus. So hopefully please go out and do some research on my fine friend and make sure that you check out everything that he's been doing along with brightvibes.com. So that's the website. We want to make sure everyone goes out and sees. It's all about that today. Bright Vibes Media. And here's the website, everybody. brightvibes.com. Make sure you go and check that. We're going to have a look at that in a second. Now, just for context purposes, my fine friend, what I'm going to do, just so that people understand what is Bright Vibes, I'm going to come back and ask you, obviously, because I want you to talk about that. But I just thought, hey, why don't we just show them? So I'm going to jump to a quick little video clip. And when we come back, we'll just talk about that, and they'll give everyone an idea to put everything in the context of what we're talking about today. Okay, so here we go. Clip about Bright Vibes, everybody. I mean, come on.
Hey.
How cool is that? Love that song, by the way. I would listen.
Yeah, so do
I'm
I.
glad you took it because I'd steal that one. I'd be stealing that one. That's got some cool energy. Hey, how can you not be pumped up and excited about that? Right? I don't know what to say. I mean, let's talk about it. BrightVibes
Yeah.
Media. I mean, there's a story. I'll lean into that in a few seconds and so on. Let's talk about the intention. What's the intention here, my fine friend? What's the intention behind this platform?
The intention is to amplify the good in the world. That's what we do. That's our role. And we do that by creating stories, telling the stories of all those amazing people and initiatives that are out there that work their asses off to make the world a fairer, more social, more sustainable and happier place. And it's our role to give them a podium. We started like 7 years ago. What I think, Peter, is an interesting thing, and something I definitely think is important for me, at least, to share with you all, is that we share these positive stories. So they're contagiously inspiring stories. That was our first tagline, and now it is amplifying the good. And you know, they fully go hand in hand. But it's these positive stories, and I'm a positive guy, and I'm an optimistic guy, but I'm also dead worried. I'm really worried, and it's my worries that motivated me to leave my corporate career behind and dedicate myself to having a positive impact full time, not just as a volunteer or something, but really I wanted to put all the energy and experience and time that I have in my work as well to have this positive impact. And I think it's necessary. It's really necessary. But it's not about me looking through the world at the world through pink glasses or something like that. I think I'm a realist. I see the problems, and I see two big problems. To summarize it, keep it short, and we want to focus on solutions. So, but I think it's important because it's what kickstarted it. Are these worries, and these worries are that we are eating up the world much faster than it can regenerate itself. And secondly, that some eat so much and others are left with the crumbs. So it's the unequal distribution of the wealth. So those two are is what really worries me. And I was like, okay, so I'm worried, and now what do I do? What do I do with these worries?
Yes.
For me, there were a couple of things that happened in my life, both at work as in within my family, so my personal life, over 7 years ago.
Yes. Okay. Before you jump to that, I know that this is beautiful. I do want to interrupt you from there, but I do want to take you there in a different context very quickly. But I do want you to go there. What I know you talk about is consciousness. I wanted to jump in about that because the intention behind some of this platform is always about raising consciousness. I've heard you say that a lot, and I know that's part of your language and so on. So why is that important? That's what I'm wanting to understand. Like, why is that your mission? Why do you think that's important? Why is raising consciousness?
Yeah, but it's about, I would say it's about consciousness, and then also with and giving people means to act. So you first, let's say the first thing is you need to be aware before you can really care, right? So we make people aware, we tell emotional stories so people care. But then it's like, okay, now I care and I want to do something. So I think that's also within BrightVibes. It's very important that within what we do in our platform, it's all about empowering people to then also act upon that thing, to help amplify the good and actually contribute to that positively. But I think that this whole thing about so we decided, okay, we're storytellers, and we're building this community, but the community is built around the fireplace, and the fireplace is where we tell these stories, and stories are so incredibly important. It was Yuval Harari who wrote about this as well. It's like historians, and it's like the stories that we tell each other are it's so incredibly important it shapes the way we look at the world, but also the way we act in the world.
100%.
And what I did, Peter, I don't know if you've ever done that when you're for a group, or I mean, if we could interact live right now, we could do this as well. I ask people many times. It was pre-COVID when I did loads of talks, and I ask people, okay, who consumes a lot of social media, news media, and 99% of all the hands go up.
Right.
And then I ask them, and who after watching or consuming this, this content, who feels a little bit better, maybe motivated to do something positive, or just feels better?
Yes.
10% of the hands are still remaining, and 90% lowers their hands. And that is, if you think about it, and then I remain silent. I'm like, okay, guys, I can easily move on now, but think about this. We are basically silently poisoning ourselves.
I heard you mention that in an article. That's why I wanted to bring it up. I know you mentioned this in an article, that when you actually Google it, and I did this last night. This is my screenshot from last night.
I put my glasses on.
Yeah, no worries. And it says news.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I remember reading something about a conversation you had, and you said,
yeah.
News makes me, and when you look at that, depressed, anxious, angry. I know happy is in there. I don't know how that snuck in there, but if you look at the rest of them, it's scared, sick, cry, depressed. Just like you said, the news that we're consuming, the things that most media.
When Peter, when did you do this, or is this something?
Just last night. Just last night.
It is last night because then nothing in that sense. I mean, nothing has changed. I mean, because I did this 6-7 years ago.
That's right.
And I saw exactly the same. Did you also do the same for social media? Because we are like a mix, right? Because it's news, it's social. So if you do social media, the one that will probably pop up is also that's one that's missing here, and that's jealous.
Oh wow! See, I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean, but so now, do we blame the media? Well, I think media have a huge role to play, but it's a little bit like a car. I mean, you can use a car to run somebody over, but you can also use a car to drive somebody who's hurt to the hospital, right? Right. So I also look at that. I look to social media like that as well, and news media as well. I mean, I'm not saying that news is bad. I'm not saying social media is bad, but it's just how do we use it?
Like you said,
what do we use it for?
Absolutely.
What do we use it for? I mean, and definitely, I mean, there's a lot to say about how algorithms work. How, let's say, I must say most media companies are pretty traditional, and they go for the old saying of when it bleeds, it leads, and all that sort of stuff. So definitely, I think there's a lot to say about that, about the algorithms. But hey,
I interrupted you. I'm going to do it again. I'm sorry. So if everyone's watching this, they're going to say he's interrupted him a lot. Here's why. I'm trying to get, his time is so precious. It's so hard to get this guy on a show. I've been asking him for about 6 months, maybe a year. So I'm going to get all my questions in, so I want to take you down this route very quickly, because you started talking about it, and then of course I jumped in on you, but I want you to share with people this story, because the birth of it, I mean, the spark of it, and so on. It came from maybe not such a great place, but share a little bit about who this beautiful person is, and the story around that sparked where BrightVibes came from. Tell us about that.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, I don't know if you can see, but I got goosebumps again. Just looking at this picture. I took this picture half a year after founding BrightVibes, and I went back to the hospital. I've got 3 sons, and one of my sons had a severe asthma attack. And my youngest son also had something similar before. So we already had experience. You take him to the hospital, he gets oxygen, 24 hours later, everything's fine, and you can take him home again. But in this case, with my other son, it didn't go that well. So Nurses started to panic. His oxygen level didn't rise, and it just got worse and worse. So he had to even go to intensive care. So he stayed, but by the way, he's totally fine. Physically, he's totally fine. So thank God for that. But also, in a sense, thank God for what happened, because what I saw at the hospital, I saw the love of, and this is one of those ladies. I'll call her my butterfly, with a reference to the butterfly effect, how a tiny little thing can have a huge influence at the other side of the world. And she is my butterfly. So this lovely lady worked at the hospital. She's not a nurse actually, but she brings tea, and she takes care of the patients at the children's department, whatever, where the kids are. And she is so incredibly warm and sweet, and she knew when to be silent or almost absent, but just leave the drinks, or crack a joke and give a smile.
Sure.
So she has been really pivotal. She was standing. It was the day before Lucas was going to be sacked from the hospital. So we knew, okay, tomorrow Lucas is coming back. And I have my youngest son in the Netherlands. We drive bicycles. I have my youngest son sitting in front of me on my bicycle. And we saw this lovely lady standing at the bus stop. She was about to go home. And I thought, well, maybe we won't see her again tomorrow. So I told Pablo, my youngest son, I said, we're going to thank her. We're going to thank her. And I just went to her, and she appreciated having a little chat, and we thanked her. And then Pablo asked me, he said, Dad, but she is so nice. And he was 8 at the time. Pablo was 8. And he said, she's so nice, and she's so sweet. And it's special. It's special, he said. Why is it special? And he said, because she works at a place where the people she's with actually do not want to be there. I mean, who the hell wants to be in a hospital, right?
Yeah.
And that struck me. That really, really struck me. And then he asked me, Dad, what do you do? And at that time, I worked at a big digital agency.
Yeah.
I had set up the mobile development app department, and in let's say with considerable success and everything. But I was already feeling I wasn't. There was something wrong. There was something wrong, shifting within me. And one of those things was that I acquired Shell, which is a huge oil company, as a customer. And I was thinking, I was having a session with Shell in a room with 10 people in the room, 5 from our team, 5 from Shell's team, and we were talking about whether the corners of the app, the design, whether they should be rounded or just 90 degrees. And I was like, what the hell am I doing? So I had to tell to Pablo when he asked me, Dad, what is it that you do? I had to tell him, well, I actually help an oil company that I don't give a F about. And I'm helping them to get more people to fill up at Shell, and it's like, what the hell am I doing? I mean, that is. So it was. I noticed it was such a wake up call. It was really my personal values and the work that I did were completely incongruent, and that was. So those were two moments. Yeah. One was the talk with my son and the wonderful people at the hospital, all these caregivers, and then me doing work which was completely inconsistent with my personal values. I had become inconsistent with my personal values.
Yeah.
And, those were my two snapshot moments, and I tried looking for a new job. So like, am I going to be work in an NGO or a freelance somewhere, but with a social enterprise, and nothing worked out. And then I was like, okay, I can't continue. I have to hand in my resignation. I handed in my resignation without knowing what I was going to do. But then 2 weeks later, after handing in my resignation, I knew exactly what it is that I wanted to do, and that's right.
Here we are.
The rest is history.
Interesting. Well, you're building history, that's for sure. You're creating history, and no, it's a great story because it just touches on something that is near to dear to me, as well as, again, people that are on the front line when it comes to healthcare and so on. Boy, you know the value when you need them. All I can say, yes, is that you know, I've had people literally save my life. So, and I know that they've intervened in your family as well. You can't throw a fridge far enough to hit somebody who can say that about somebody in the medical field that's helped you. And so anyway, when you tell me that you were, you know, motivated by a, you know, a conversation that stemmed around someone who gave care for you or your family. My mom was a nurse as well, and so I'm, you know, yeah. So that sensitivity of people who care when they inspire you to do something good, I think it's amazing. I just want to I want to acknowledge some of the people that are watching you, my friend. They're all over the place. England is in the house, which is absolutely fantastic.
Martin.
We have Switzerland in the house, which is fantastic. We really appreciate that.
Aloha aus die Schweiz.
Kenya. Look at, we got Kenya house. How cool is that?
𝗿𝗲𝗃𝗁𝗁𝗍.
I love it. I love it. And everyone's loving it. Lots of likes, lots of love here. Lots of loves here. Hey, Martin said, gave me a compliment. I won't put it up right here, but he gave me a compliment. I appreciate that. Hey, yeah, it's just the hair. Don't let the hair fool you. I'll do it that way. And here's a great comment here. The world is reaching the tipping point of no return for future generations. Comment back to what you said about the idea of what really, you know, really inspired.
This is such a good, that there's a Dutch professor, and I use his saying, which is very much in line with what Daniel is saying here. Is in line with I use his line in a presentation, and it's not that we're living in an era of change, but we live in a change of era. And yeah, it's and I think that is, that's also where I get my drive from. It's like, you know, we've got I don't know how you say that. A coin is like sort of, it can flip both sides.
Yeah.
And I want to at least be able, and whilst I'm doing it, I'm enjoying it greatly.
Yes.
Is do whatever it is that I can, together with like-minded people, to help make sure that the quarter falls in the right direction.
Oh, good.
By the way, if it doesn't, and I've been struggling with this, so what if it doesn't? And I've had also during Corona sort of like a crisis, like, what is it? But is it enough? Is it going to be enough? You know, is it going to be enough? And I was like, you know, I decided it doesn't matter if it's enough. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's a starfish story. It's that story about, you know, again, the person on the beach throwing all the starfish back. And, you know, the bottom line is you help that one. And that was the message and the moral of that story. So to your point, I mean, every time Bright Vibes puts out another story that can make people think in a more positive, inspiring, holistic way, I mean, that's good. I mean, that's good in the world. I couldn't agree with you more. So the fact that everything that you're doing, it is big. It's a big deal. And yes, it's a big mountain to climb, but isn't everything that we choose, like everything that we choose is like that.
It is. But I think for all those people out there that are also, I think it's so important for people who are sometimes, you know, sometimes, yeah, you do feel like depressed or like, or hopeless or whatever. And then it is just so, for me, it has been very powerful, this realization, like it doesn't matter in that sense, you know, you can't put the weight of the world on your shoulders, but you can do something.
Yes.
You know, and whatever that something is, it's different for everybody.
It is.
For me, it is amplifying the good by telling these positive stories. For others, it is really activism, or it is striking, or whatever it is. I think it's all good, you know. Everybody has to find his thing or her thing that works for him or her. Yeah, and this is my thing. Yeah.
It is your thing. Hey, listen, I'm with you. Listen, you know, my tagline is just be kind out there. So it's all about,
I loved it, man. I loved it.
That's what it's all about. Just what we're trying to do right here. I just want to make sure I'm acknowledging so many amazing people that, Dr. Ron, I appreciate your awareness about purpose and living with an abundance of compassion, compassion, empathy. Really, absolutely appreciate that. Does raising your consciousness matter if your subconscious is clouded? That's a great question, actually. You know, it's a big question. I'm going to leave that for a second. But Martin, I agree. What's your thoughts on that before we kind of?
That's a big. I don't know. It's very deep. It's very, very, very deep. And there's so much that's so big and complex that I do not have a clue. So sometimes I'm like, I don't know. I really don't know. if your subconsciousness is clouded, yeah.
I know. Listen,
I don't know what to say. You know, to be honest, I don't know what to say. And I have that. I love being able to say that. It's like I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
I can't answer the question. It's like, oh,
yeah, Daniel talked about kindness here. Kindness is an amazing way to inspire people to do amazing things, and that's what Bright Vibes is doing right now. Bright Vibes are critical to this success, so we appreciate that. Here's another of Jacqueline Way. We can all do something very similar to her. 365 Give is just this one small act of giving, one day at a time. She doesn't mention it in there, but I'm going to mention it right now. 365give.ca, everybody. I know that you two are friends, and you've had good conversations together.
But she does amazing things.
Amazing stuff. Hey, let me take you on another journey right now. So I want to report, by the way, I'm not going briefly over that. I'm going to go back to it just for a second. Martin, that's a beautiful question. I really appreciate it. And you know what? You mentioned it, Michiel, that it's a deep question. At the end of the show, I'm going to revisit that with you, okay? Because we're going somewhere deep later on. Okay, so we're going to come back to this one. I think this is a worthy one to bring back for sure. I really like the idea that we're going to bring this one back. Let me take you down another little direction for a second here, and thank you everybody for your comments. Keep putting them in there. Super appreciate you connecting with us and so on. And I know that I mentioned earlier, let me just see if I have that number here. Believe it or not, I'm going to check the text in a few seconds, but you can text us right now, and hey, you never know. If you text me, you never know if we call you back or what we're going to do. So please do that right now. And if you want to have a question, even if we can't get to it, we will definitely be going through them afterwards and looking and so on. So we appreciate you being here. That's what this is all about. Let me take you down another little direction, my fine friend. And because I just think it's important that people realize how much energy and time and thoughtfulness has gone into this. So I hope this, I did some digging on you, as you can imagine, always do.
Well, oh my God.
Always do a little digging here. And I'm trying to find the, where is that right this second here? The location, the Google, gosh, give me 2 seconds here. I'm going to put this back up because, again, the story behind this, again, I wanted to emphasize. I didn't want to just gloss over that. That beautiful spirit right there is the connection that you have with, with the igniting of the idea. Do you think? By the way, I'm just curious. Is she still? Do you ever see her ever again? Like, have you ever?
Seen, so I went back like I said, half a year ago or something after founding BrightVibes. I bought her a huge, like flowers, like really huge. She could hardly put both arms around them. And I just went to the hospital without knowing whether she was working or not, but she was. And it was such a beautiful moment because all the other nurses and doctors, they all came. And they said, oh, she so much deserves this. And so, she's been recognized as an angel by her co-workers as well. It was beautiful moments. Beautiful moments.
Yeah, that's a good again, that's sending praise where it's deserved. I mean, that's to me, it's like I always want to be amplifying those that are really doing super cool things in the world. Let me bring you back here.
Find it.
I'm sorry. Look at this. Let's bring you back to December 2007.
Oh my God.
Let me read this to you. This is
whoa. Okay, yeah.
Bringing back some memories for you.
Sorry for my language.
This BrightVibes.blogspot.com blog, this is you writing, will serve a different purpose. I use it as a meeting place for all my ideas, both related to my job at that, and there's a location there, and you have it on your LinkedIn profile, so I thought I'd just leave it there. As with my other interests, what those interests are exactly, well, we will see. But definitely the title does allude to one of the ideas I feel very strongly about. It's about bright vibes, about thinking positively. By the way you look at the world, you change it. Simply by changing your perspective of it, and by changing your own filter in a bright and positive way, you may inspire other people to do the same. Wow. That's 15 years ago.
So you have a time machine or something? Is it? I mean, this is interesting. This is so interesting. That is unbelievable. Do you know the thing? So you see, I wrote this in 2007, and I founded BrightVibes in 2015. So that's 8 years later.
Wow.
I came up with the idea for BrightVibes when I was working at 𝗕𝗿𝗏𝗏, a very big TV production company, a company you might know from productions in the US, Deal or No Deal, Fear Factor, The Voice. No, well, it's not The Voice, but the founder of 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏, who at that time was still one of the two MDs, one of the two MDs, is the creator of The Voice. So huge TV production and format house, and that's where I worked. And I was head of digital video at that time. So I had a wonderful time. It was a beautiful time, and we created BrightVibes. The idea of BrightVibes, and it was then at that time when we created it, was your daily dose of positive news. And we created all sorts of formats, digital formats at the time. And we pitched those to the different operating companies, like the US, the UK, like Spain, and to the whole group. We were like a little United Nations, but then for entertainment. And the response by my colleagues was like, "Oh yeah, no, this is great idea, very sweet, but how the hell are you gonna make money? Who is really waiting for this? What else have you got?" And then I went like, "Okay, we've got this and we've got that," and we did loads of other stuff. But this was the birth of the idea. Was like, it was way ahead of its time. And I didn't even know that this exists. BrightVibes.blogspot.com. And let's see if there's anyone watching from 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏, who paid me at the time. They paid me a very good salary. And we registered all the URLs. So the website, BrightVibes.com, BrightVibes.co.uk, .es, .it, .france, well, all of them. And when I left 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 and then started working I worked for other companies. And in 2015, when I said, okay, I'm going to do BrightVibes, I had to contact 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏, of course, because they've got all the URLs. And so I contacted Jelle, who at that time was the global head of legal. And I told him what my plans were with BrightVibes. And he said, "I absolutely love it. I will support you." And he gave me, BrightVibes, all the URLs, everything. So he was like, "Okay, we're not going to do anything with it. We love your plan. Go for it, man." I mean, that says something about also the relationship, but also about Jelle, and those people. So I'm still very, very grateful to them.
I'm super pumped that this brought back great memories for you. I was stumbling around looking, and I saw this, and it just explained everything almost as if it was in real time. That's what fascinated me the most, is what it felt like real time. So I just want to know what's happened in the last. Is that guy? See that guy down? How has it changed over the last 15 years? I mean, because to me, if I read that now, it's almost identical to literally what the vision was.
Yes, but I didn't do. But yeah, okay. So I think this is so interesting to watch as well. And I didn't want to. It wasn't my intention to share this today, but so the idea for BrightVibes 2007. I told you that in end of 2014, that's when I had those snapshot moments with my family, with working as being commissioned by Shell and all that stuff. And I had to resign. I couldn't continue doing that work, and I handed in my resignation without knowing what to do. 2 weeks later, I knew exactly what to do, and that was doing BrightVibes. So it was 8 years later. 8 years later, it was like the idea had to mature. I had to mature, and there it was. And it was like, boom, it's so obvious. Of course I have to do BrightVibes. And I was thinking about, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Right.
And where was it? It was already there. It was already there.
I love it. I love it. I'm going to see if I can get someone to chat with you now in a second, but I'm super pumped that brought back great memories from you, and I applaud you because
Yeah.
I can relate to that story. I'll talk to you off air about that. But long story short, when you have a vision, people think sometimes it just comes to you, and came to you yesterday. Um, Quite the opposite. Sometimes these things marinate for 10, 12, 15, 20 years. And you hear that quite often from people where you hear someone start something, and then all of a sudden it shows up. I'm going to see if I can, let me just see if I can take a caller here. Just stay with me, my friend.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to see if we can take a caller here. I'm hoping right now that I'm talking to a beautiful person right now. Can that person hear me right now?
This person can hear you right now.
Oh, there she is.
There she is.
Beautiful Jacqueline Wayne.
Jacqueline.
Good morning.
How are ya?
Good morning.
I'm so confused because I get sound out my computer in one way and I get you in my ear another way.
Okay, yeah. So just mute the computer a little bit and mute the computer just a little tiny bit. I know it's falling behind, but listen, great to see you. Thanks for calling. I knew if I threw the number out there, someone amazing would show up, and there you are. Good to see you.
I can never miss this moment, even a minute with Michael. Mikel, are you crazy? I can't say it nearly as well as you did, Peter.
Oh, hey, listen, I'm still working on it. You two know each other very well. I know that you've had conversations. I shouldn't say that. I know you know each other. You've had conversations. I just want to make sure everyone knows Jacqueline Wayne, founder of 365 Give. I think April 21st, 2022 is coming up for a big event. I want to throw that in because she won't. But if you have a question or something for Michiel, I'm just getting there. It's going to take a while. So go ahead, Jack.
I just call him Michael, so it's all good.
I want you guys to converse. So can you hear each other? I just want to make sure you can hear each other.
I can hear you really well, Jacqueline.
Good morning. Excellent. I do have a very special question, actually, for Mikel this morning. My friend, I want to tell a quick little short story.
Do so.
And I have to stop looking at my screen because, Peter, your hands are moving and talking, but you're not actually talking. So it's funny. So I'll tell you a funny little story. And the very first year, we were doing Do One Give Day, which we know is huge here on LinkedIn. I had, through a friend, Asha, who we both know, Asha invited or said she would reach out to Mikel for us about Do One Give Day. And I was terrified because as far as I was concerned, he was like this big media mogul. And I had no business reaching out to him to, possibly think he would help us with Do One Give Day. And the beautiful thing about it is that through that conversation, I've now I have this beautiful friend in my life who I just feel so blessed to have in my world. And one day we're going to do the 365 Give story together for BrightVibes, which we're super excited about.
So are we.
My question really is this. What's the end game for this? Do you really believe people like you and I can change the world?
Great question.
That's a deep question. I don't know.
My friend.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know what the end game is. So I don't know. What is the end game, Jacqueline? Is there? I think it's an illusion. That there will be an end game. I don't know. We've only been, we're only here for a very short period of time. And I don't know how history will evolve. The only thing that really for me is certain is that I want to contribute positively. I want to leave places and people behind better than that I found them. And that's what I do. And when the question, because it's a beautiful question, it's such a big question, and I don't know. If I think about those questions too much, I become confused myself. And I'm also, in that sense, I think intellectually, like I'm not let's say, I don't know how to say this. There are people that are so much smarter than I am, And I just go through life experiencing. That's how I learn. And when it comes to like these big questions about, you know, what's the use of raising consciousnesses of your subconscious, it's like, okay, I feel there's something really deep there, and what is the end game? God, it's so big. It's so big. It's maybe it's a little bit too big for me. I'm more like, oh, taking these small steps, and as long as it feels right. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't answer your question, but that's my response.
Well, it's a beautiful question because, you know, we'll do it to her. Michiel, we'll do this with Jacqueline one day.
Yeah, but I would love to hear her.
I know, because she has one ready to go. So we're going to save that one. We're going to save that one for another show. But Jacqueline Way, listen, I know you have another show coming up. Are you doing something today right now? Yes, you have another show coming up.
I am shortly. I'm doing something shortly because today is 2/2/2/2.
That's correct.
And
yes.
The really neat thing, and for those of you that haven't looked into today, and this is completely and totally Michael, is that this is the day where all of the numbers, all of the stars, all of the moon is all lined up, that we can actually start to really move forward as a united global community to create the change. So it's so perfect that Michael is your guest today and that he's here. And my friend, I asked you that question for the simple reason, and I thought I knew what your answer was going to be, because I don't want anyone to feel as though there is an end game either. This is an ongoing game for us all. And I want people to feel encouraged that in their time and their lifespan, that whether it's 100 views, 10 views, or like you, 100 million views, that we can all make that difference. And you're still doing it. You inspire me every single day. And my last question quickly is, how does this all make you feel?
Whoa, very grateful. Oh man, so grateful and alive.
Grateful and alive. I love it.
Beautiful.
Grateful and alive.
Yeah.
Jacqueline Way, you already know how I feel about you. I think my fine friend over here, Smile, will tell you how he feels about you.
Yeah.
I
love you. She knows that.
I love you right back, my friend.
Yeah,
and just so blessed to know you. And I hope everyone continues to tell you what a gift you are to the world.
Thank you. Well, same to you.
Oh, Jacqueline, thank you so much. Listen, we're going to do this again. You know that, right? I always try to thank you as much as I can. All I can say is thank you. Thank you for tuning in, and thanks for being the energy you are out there as well. Okay, and we'll talk again soon, Jacqueline Way. Okay.
Love you. Bye.
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 How cool is that, my friend?
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Super cool.
That's amazing. She's amazing. And that's one of the things that I love and love. And I think when she talks about changing the world and all that, and we talk about technology, social media, how incredibly cool is it that we can use these tools to raise the level of consciousness and awareness and the feeling of connection. And it can completely disconnect us at the same time whilst we're sitting next to each other. It can disconnect people. It can also connect people. And that's what we're seeing here today. That's what I'm feeling right now. That's what I have with you, Peter. I mean, we haven't met physically yet, but I mean, we've spoken 3 times. Yes. And you're a dear friend of mine, and I'm not, you know, this is not exaggerated. I feel it. It's just amazing. And the conversation that with Jacqueline and I, we had conversation where we both shed a tear. You know, like we were so open to each other, we could feel each other's energy and love. And isn't that how incredibly amazing, and what a huge opportunity that is?
I absolutely love it. I'm going to see if I can try keep that going. I'm going to say I'm going to send a message to a friend here. You never know, they might you might call in. I just want to. Hey, also, here's what I want to do. I want to make sure I welcome Netherlands, Germany, and Spain Facebook.
Yeah, or Mexico, or wherever they're from.
Wherever you are. Right? We mentioned those 3 specifically because we were trying to get out to those Facebook pages. And that's what we're doing. Hey, I think I got another caller for you. What we're trying to do, and I'm hoping that this fine young person here, whose spirit is bigger than you know. There's a song out there, Miguel, it's from Tom Petty, and it's called Walls. I love this song called Walls. And there's the chorus in it. And I play this song a lot to myself. And the chorus of the song says, you got a heart so big that it would crush this town. And I love that line. And the person on the line right now has one of those, actually, a heart in crush a town. Is this Daniel Hall?
Yes, this is.
Hey, Daniel.
How are you, my friend?
I am doing remarkable, Peter. Thank you so much.
It's great to have you, my friend. I'm going to see you here. I'm going to put up one of your comments so that my good friend here can see who you are. And here you go, talking about kindness. There you are, my fine friend. It's really good to see. I saw you in the comments, and I saw that you texted it in, so I wanted to make sure you have a chance to get.
Hi, Daniel.
It's super nice to have you guys connect.
Oh, that is wonderful. And I certainly want to connect as well after the show. So my question was, we have 6 adopted special needs children, and my question is, what does BrightVibes do for the foster adoptive community? How does it inspire the souls that not only the caregivers, the resource parents, and the children, but these are our future generations of children, and I am truly inspired by my children. They are my biggest teachers in life. So I wanted to see if you had the capacity to do something for that community, or you already have.
Great question.
Oh, that's a great question. To be honest, I don't think that we told any stories specifically about that theme. So yeah, but yes, of course, what we can do for the community is by sharing, for example, could be your story.
Right.
Or
Right.
So I'd love to talk with you, see what your story is, and how we can help bring more, is it understanding, appreciation, what we can learn from children, what we can learn from, and it's also, I have one of my best friends. I don't know how you say that. He didn't adopt children because but they have 2 children now for a very long time. That they still have their biological parents, but they can't take care of them. I have such tremendous and utmost respect for everything that they are doing, and it's I can't get into too much detail because he might be listening as well. There are loads of struggles, there are loads of highs, there are loads of lows as well. But my heart goes out to people who have, like you said, like such a big heart. You know, the crushes. What was the song again?
The song is called Walls, and it says, "You have a heart so big it could crush this town."
Wow. No, Daniel. So I would love to connect with you. By the way, after this show, I have to run home because I have to go back to my kids. It's getting late. So tomorrow, let's definitely make sure that we connect, Daniel. And I would love to pick up this theme and start telling stories. It's also with a lot of things. It's also like something has to come sometimes. You know, it's not, might not be on our radar yet, but it's popping up now, and that's what happens. That's what happens with us all the time as well. It's like, it just happens. Yeah.
Well, that's what we do around here. We connect people. That's what we do. Daniel, if anyone has a story, it's Daniel. Again, Michiel, you will find out more about that. Just start with his LinkedIn profile and see the amazing things he's doing, and amazing things he's doing, not just professionally, but again, 6 special needs kids adopted. I mean, the story is so compatible with BrightVibes, certainly with Red TV, that's for sure. Daniel, my friend, thank you for calling in. It's great to hear you. Always good to hear you.
Great to hear you guys as well. Thank you so much, and thank you for taking time out of your lives to take my call.
Of course, Daniel. Thank you so much for reaching out.
All right, Daniel, we'll talk again. I know, thank you, Daniel. He has this amazing software, by the way, Michiel, that actually goes on to LinkedIn, and you're able to pull reports from your live streams. Just want to throw that.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. So I just want to throw a plug out there for Daniel, because I know he won't do that. I know he won't do it for himself. I'm going to do it for you. I just did. There you go. It's great to have him on the line. I want to go in this direction. Thank you, everybody. Listen, we've already crossed over that first hour. I know you have to get home to your family, so stay with me. Stay with me, my friend. We're going to keep moving quick. We're just warming up. We're going to keep moving quick. There's one subject, though, I think it's really important. It's near and dear to my heart. No pun intended, but anyone who knows, over the last few months, I've had a heart incident, and I know part of that is part of my language now when I'm speaking to people is about stress, anxiety, these kinds of things, how it plays a role in people's lives, especially over the last 24 months around the world. By the way, this is not just
man, it's
incredibly. It's not a local phenomenon. This is, I think, we've
it's an epidemic.
It's absolutely. So I want to ask you about that. I want to ask you about your maybe some insights that you can share. It just affects millions of people. I mean, because it has. We've seen it play out.
It affects me. It affects me personally. It affects we work with a lot of young people. Of course, I've got kids myself. I see a lot of young people really struggling. It's hard. It's been very, very difficult, I think, over the last 2 years, and also prior to the last 2 years. But I think, we all feel like I don't know, I have it myself as well still. I mean, when we feel rushed, and we have to do more, and we have to get more out of life, and we have to make so many choices. And I think it's completely normal to be overwhelmed. To feel stressed out, and one of the things that I'm 52, but I only recently discovered, and this was it wasn't stress related. It was more had to do with my personal life, and things that happen in my journey and the journey of my family. But I only just discovered the incredibly healing power of finding a therapist. Someone you really connect with, and I'm not saying you can't. This is not about delegating this to somebody outside you. They just facilitate you to basically to deblock and look at things differently. And for me personally, that has already done, and I've only had 3 sessions so far, but it has been amazing. If Marit is listening, Marit, you're an angel too. I'm so grateful for the work that she's doing to help me become a better person, become a better dad, become a better husband, a better man. So anybody if you're dealing with big questions in your life that's causing a lot of stress, and if you are able and fortunate, like I am, like I'm very privileged to be able to ask for help and then get that help professionally. I mean, it's so incredibly recommended. And another thing is nature. I think just connecting, nature is one of the best therapists there is, especially when it's stress related. One of our most popular posts, it's not something we invented, we just pasted it on a nice billboard, is like, if you don't have time, if you don't have 5 minutes to go out and enjoy nature, you should go out 20 minutes in nature.
Right.
Something like that. The quote.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? It's like when if you think you don't have time to take a deep breath, concentrate on your breath, feel the air, smell, whatever. If it's the forest or the sea or just the natural elements, look at the sky, and that's so incredibly calming.
Yes.
So nature, and see if it's maybe it's good to look for some help. I am terrible at asking for help. The people that are close to me know this very well. One of the things I'm learning.
Get in line, my fine friend. Get in line. You know, and I mean that sincerely. We're males, and I'll speak from my own perspective. We are just, this is why these conversations are so important. This is why these conversations for me of talking about stress, anxiety, because I would not ask. I don't, that's what I don't, I'm same as yourself. It's very, very difficult for me to ask for help from anybody for anything. And you're obviously putting not yourself at risk, your family and your future, your legacy, everything is at risk because you just don't want to ask for the help. So I'm glad I really appreciate you mentioning that you again, you're seeking out opportunities to have these conversations with someone in a professional manner.
Yeah.
It's a sign of strength.
And then also talk with my friends, you know. So I had this experience with Marit, and a few hours later, I had dinner with my friends, and I told them what it was like for me. And I can't tell. It's too. I have to keep it to myself. But but I can tell you, I've never taken drugs or anything like that.
Mhm.
But she helped me to see things, to be like in a completely different universe, and you know, like starting a healing process. I mean, I've never taken mushrooms or anything like that. I think I was like, oh my God, what did you do? He's like, oh gee, man. So I told my friends, and you know, I opened up to them, and then you can have more conversations, and you take it further, and yeah.
That is, I'm really glad that you shared the fact that, I want to, I'm overemphasizing it, but I want to say it again. You know, again, your business is looking for good stories, searching good stories, broadcasting good stories, and yet we still ourselves need to take the time for self-healing, self-awareness, all these things. That's the emphasis I really want to say to everybody. Don't let, you know, what you see, the outer part, fool you, that no one is immune to it. We're all kind of
No,
the same
not
story.
at all. No, that's very, very, very true. And it's also when I heard Jacqueline going like, oh yeah, but who am I speaking to Michiel after the introduction by Asha, because he's such a medium? And go like, no, 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 please do talk to me. And I'm like, that's not me at all. It's like, you should see the mess that I have to manage and cause, that I cause and then have to manage, you know? It's like, man, it's not, no, it's not. There's so much more to things than meet the eye. Yeah.
Absolutely. I want to mention Melody. Thank you for being here, Melody. I hope you have the number. Give us a call, and if you want to jump on to talk to Michiel, that'd be fantastic. I want to mention Dr. Rhonda here, talking about nature, always posting things about getting out in nature. And I do want to do a shout out for a good friend of mine, Suzanne Heaton, who has a company referred to as Motivated by Nature, Michiel, which is also talking to people about connecting to nature. And it's good for, obviously, personal, but it's good for your business. It's good for all the reasons we just talked about. And Motivated by Nature is exactly what that tagline is get out into nature.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's just powerful. I just wanted to do
when you talk about consciousness, I think the it's so incredibly important that we all realize that and I'm still, you know, getting my head around it, but we are all part of nature. You know, we're part of it, and I would say it was same for me. And there's still so much I need to learn, but you know, going from, you've seen these posts probably as well, going from realizing that you know, shifting from an ecosystem to realizing that we are part of an ecosystem, right?
Yes.
And it's so important the way we are connected with nature. It's like the biggest in the small. We are, you know, we are the drop in the ocean. We are the ocean, Rumi, and that's that's really a beautiful thing about getting older. By the way, for me, it is
Perspective.
perspective. Realizing these type of things. It's like we're all connected. We're all connected. I mean, yeah, it's not like a closure, but I mean, we're all connected. And the most important thing, what you say, so basically your slogan is just be kind. Be kind out there, just be kind. And for me, it's like, okay, we're all connected, and the only thing that matters, I mean, it's like the Beatles song, the only thing that matters is love. And that love, and this, if you and you can translate that to anything. You can translate that to business. You can translate that to your team. You can translate that to your family. You can translate it to whenever you go and do shopping or whatever it is. I mean, It's all that matters, man. It sounds soft as soft ice, but it's very true.
No, it's very true. Again, I appreciate it. I wanted to talk about that a little bit, and shedding some light on it, just like we did there, is really important. So, and we need to check in on each other, everybody. Just make sure you're checking on each other. Is the other thing.
Exactly.
Let me take you down another. Listen, again, I promise I got to get you home to your family, and I'm not take. I don't want to. I don't want to just.
Come on. Next question.
We got to. Yeah, what's the next question here? You know, we talked about in a lot of really deep questions will be thrown around here today, which is fantastic. And normally, I don't know if you know about this in the show here for Red TV, but we anytime I meet someone for the first time, I want to get to know them a little bit, and I have a little thing called this or that.
Okay, I like that. Yeah,
that's what I normally do. That's what I normally do. But today, I really do this sincerely. Special day, special date. Having you here, I was like, okay. And I know you're a deep guy. I just know you're a deep guy. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go deep. So we're going to go deep with Bright Vibes. That's what we're going to do today. So we're going to go deep for that segment. I'm just excited because I know that you'll have some insights in this. And guess what? I love the fact that you said it earlier. If I don't know, I'll just tell you. I'll just tell you. So we're going to go deep, everybody. Okay, we're going deep. That's what we're going to do. We're going to go deep right now. So there's no right or wrong for each. You know that, right? We're just having some fun. But here we go. We're going deep with Michiel, right? Did I say that right?
Michiel. Yeah, you got it right the second time. It's all good.
Second time. Exactly. How about this one? What does it mean to live a good life?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I can only answer for myself, so I don't know what it means to somebody else. So that's the first thing. For me, a good life is a life full of love and learning. And the moment I feel that I've got nothing left to learn is the day that I would like, to take a turn. And so that's a good life. Is a life full of love and learning. And love for yourself, love for the people close by, and love for everything on this planet.
Fair enough. And again, that's the whole, and I appreciate what you said there. You can only speak from the eye because that's the whole point of the experience. I'm going to throw something at you that is sometimes is uncomfortable for some people, but I don't think you'll find this uncomfortable. But I find it fascinating, this thing. This is what I find fascinating. I find fascinating that we teach young kids, we teach young children to be kind. We teach them to be kind. We teach them with manners. And we, don't pull your sister's hair, and all the things that you do when you're growing up. You don't do this and don't do that. You're basically, so you're kind of teaching them that. I also find it fascinating that when people, and I'm being very generic here, everybody. So just be just be conscious of being very careful with my words here. When people seem to be really disconnected with the world, really disconnected for whatever reasons, let's just say emotional reasons, whatever the case would be, when they normally act badly. So it's almost like you don't hear stories in the news where someone seems to have lost their awareness and they go out and build a school. They don't do that. They go out and do bad things. So I've always asked myself this question: do you think deep down that humanity is not good and we have to be taught to be good, or are we naturally good? So
no, I think most so this is a really interesting topic, right? And I've read and interviewed the author of the book Humankind, a short, and it's called Humankind, his book. It has a subtitle,
words, right? Like human and then kind.
Yeah, Humankind. Yeah. And in Dutch, the literal translation of his book is most people are decent people. And he did research, very thorough research and scientific research, and he's a good writer, so it's easy to digest. And he comes to the conclusion that most people are actually really decent and good people. It's also the how do you say, I don't know if you could say the premises on which we build Bright Vibes. And that is that most people want to be better. Most people want to be better. do better. I want to say, sorry, most people want to do better. They want to do better for themselves. They want to do better for other people, and they want to do better for the planet and everything that's on it. It's just that most people do not know where to start. So I definitely believe that most people are decent people. Backed by Rutgers research, scientific research, I think you can definitely come to that conclusion. By the way, for example, he talks about this huge experiment, the prison experiment in the US. I don't recall. It was about telling people, it was an experiment where they told people to torture people, basically. It was a prison experiment.
Yeah.
To become a warden, and then they started mistreating people, and there was also this other and not more studies. There are so many studies that are completely wrong. The studies were wrong, the conclusions were wrong, and we all take them for granted as being the truth. And he basically debunked all of these myths. The bystander effect, you probably know what the bystander effect is. You go like, yeah, I know what it is. I knew what it was. I thought.
Well, I think I do. Yeah, that's a good point. I think I understand it. Yeah.
What do you think it is?
The bystander effect is that you can, if you're an empathetic, well, for me, if you're an empathetic person, you can actually feel and you feel what's happening of what you're watching. So when you witness kindness, for example, you can actually feel the chemical reaction of what it's like to receive kindness.
Yeah. I think that's very true. That's very true. I agree with you. In this case, the bystander effect, what they meant by it, is the effect that if something happens to someone and there are a couple of people witnessing it, then nobody acts.
Oh,
because people think that somebody else will do something.
Got it. I've heard of this as well.
Also, again, there was a murder in New York. Somebody was crying. Nobody came for help, and they built the whole case around it. They went like, you see, if there are more people, no. So again, scientists have proven based on CCTV footage that in 90% of all the cases, people really help. And if the more people there are, the greater the chances are that people actually help. So there are so many myths. We like to think that people are bad. I don't know what it is. It's just like, well, and I do know what that is, that we're obsessed by negative news. We're obsessed by negative news because it's from the dark ages where we thought, well, we need to know whether a bear might be coming because I need to get my club. Because there's danger, I might need to run up the mountain because a tsunami is coming or something. So that's all being triggered so negativism is attractive because it might be about danger that we need to know of. So it triggers our brain, our how do you call it? Our ancient brain, basically. Yeah. What Rutger? So it's just me telling what Rutger said and the research. It might be World War I or II, I don't know, but I think it was World War II that only, and it could be again, I might be wrong with the percentages, but like 30% of the soldiers, they actually shot at the enemy. So they used their rifle, they got bullets, and they shot at the enemy. It's really hard for people to shoot at other people. For most people, For most people, it's like really hard. So in Vietnam, the American soldiers, they killed a lot more people. How did they do it? Because they drilled the soldiers for months first. You look at Full Metal Jacket, and you look at the way these people are brainwashed. It's not because do you think that they need to be brainwashed because it's so easy to kill people? No, it's not. It's fucking hard. It's terrible. So you need to. So again, you really need to work hard and for most people to become evil. Now, there are some people, hurt people, right? And there are a lot of hurt people. And there are a lot of people that deal with these traumas, and they continue they grow and they grow and they grow. There are people that are, and there are people that are, I don't know if we can say, I don't know, philosophically or whatever, if people can be really evil, but I mean, look at a guy like Hitler. I would definitely say, yes, that's an evil, evil, evil man. There's somebody that's a very sick man. Very, very, very sick. And there are very sick people, and sick people can do terrible things. So the negative, bad things that people do, and although it's on maybe a very small portion, it's still very bad and has a huge influence because somebody pushing a button to drop a bomb has a tremendous impact. Now, but the good thing is that there are more good people than there are bad people, for sure. We outnumber the good people, outnumber the bad people, but we need those numbers as well, because yeah, just a few can do some really big harm. And there's last point, because it's a big question. Last point is about it might even be the tendency of people to want to be liked, so actually to be kind. That could be part of the problem. If you look at World War II in Germany and the role that so many Germans played, they just wanted to be part of the group. They were afraid to stand up, to do what is right, because they want to be, we're social animals. They want to be kind.
Right.
And I think in that sense, we shouldn't mistake being kind for just going along with everything that's going on.
Right. Right. No,
so sometimes we should stand up and not be afraid to be called out for and say, hey, but you're the odd one out here. Well, maybe I am, but this is how I feel about this. I think this is really wrong, and then we have to stand up rather than go like, oh well, actually I want to be part of this group and I'll just be nice and go along.
Right. No, he's a giant. It's a giant.
Yeah. And but I think, and this is nature versus nurture, right? That's also in this question.
Yeah.
I don't know, man, but I think in general, yeah, kids can be really cruel. I'm not saying that they cannot be, but our society also unlearns us so many things that we should actually keep. So I don't know if we do that well in telling kids what to do, what not to do, and there's so many. Don't pull hair. Yeah, that's good. You shouldn't pull somebody's hair. I would do. I did the same as a parent, of course. Yeah. But I think in general, actually, people are good, and I think So the question to your answer is yes. I think most people are decent and good.
Like I said, no right or wrong. These are deep. Hey, we're going deep. That's what we're trying to do here right now. We're going deep. This is the last deep one, because again, we could have multiple shows on just deep questions. But I'm just curious what you think of this one. What do you think happens when we die?
Man, I don't know. I don't have a clue. I don't know. I just hope that the goodness that we spread lives on in other people, through other people. I don't know. I really don't know. It's so difficult. I don't have a specific religion that I'm not from I don't have a religion that I follow. I really don't know. I don't know, but I do believe in the soul. I don't know what happens to a soul any day. I don't know. I believe that people live on through the hearts of others. That's what I believe. And
that's beautiful.
There was a post and it didn't do that well, but I loved it. I thought it was very deep, and it was something like, let's say when the light that was shining on something, when that light disappears, it doesn't take away anything of the light that it projected. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, listen.
I mean, the light might go out, but what it lightens, that is never gone.
Yeah,
it doesn't take it with it to the darkness.
I love it. Hey, listen, no right or wrong here. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. Hey, we were going deep. There's no right or wrongs with Andy's going deep. So I appreciate you. I appreciate you hanging in there for these ones. Those are tough. Those are tough ones right there. How about?
I love talking about this.
I know, me too. Listen, all day long. I could do this all day long. This is fantastic. I love it. Thank you for doing that. How about we wind down a little bit? I want to thank everybody for watching us. For starters, if you're still putting comments in there, we appreciate that. Thank you so much. There's so many wonderful people that are throwing up great comments and so on.
I promise that tomorrow I will read through them, and probably some tonight but I will read through them, and I will try to answer as many as I can tomorrow. And yeah, I'm forever grateful, Peter, for you inviting me to your show. You know that I love you. I love talking to you. Love your spirit, love your energy, and this has been an amazing evening. And it's also feels it feels really fantastic to have all these other people from your community, people from the Bright Vibes community to be here as well. So thank you all, but thank you, Peter, for making this possible. And yes, you were right. I think we started talking about this like 9 months ago or something.
Right?
I'm so happy we finally did it. Thank you.
Listen, it was well worth the wait for me. I'll promise you that. Well,
Me too.
and thank
Thanks.
you for all those kind words. I super appreciate that. How about we leave a couple thoughts on the table for people from your perspective? There's one certainly question I have to ask you before you go.
Sure.
But here's one I think it's so important because it's in thematic mode, if you will, with Bright Vibes, with what we try to do here with Red TV and so on, is about, again, hope, this idea of hope and hanging on to hope and so on. And the last 2 years has been difficult, but I think, the journey of life is difficult. Let's face it. I'm wondering right now in your life, right now where you are, what keeps you hopeful? What keeps you hopeful and optimistic where you are right now and as you look at the future?
Wow, there's so many there are so many amazing people out there who do the most amazing things that leave me flabbergasted. There are so many beautiful people out there, and that's, again, it's like full circle, because these people, I am so dedicated to bringing these people more attention, shine more light on them, because they're so important. So for me, it is seeing other people doing all sorts of amazing stuff. And they can be of any age or any gender, any whatever, sexuality, preferences. I don't give a damn. They're everywhere. And that's what makes me hopeful. Of course, you can say it's young people. There are some amazing young people that I know. There's Tony. He's a 22-year-old guy who does so much to raise awareness for people who have to deal with dementia. When he started his master's, he decided to live in an elderly home with people who have dementia. So those are his roommates. Think of it's a different kind of dorm, right? What he's doing to raise awareness, he writes books, he has his own foundation. The guy is 22. It's just amazing. But then we have Dr. Edith Eger, and now 93-year-old Holocaust survivor who had to dance for Dr. Mengele when she was 16. She lost so many people, so many family members. She went through the worst. And when she was at the end of her 40s, she started to study psychology. When she was 50, she started to practitioner as a psychologist. She now helped thousands of people dealing with traumas. She is 93. She launched her first book when she was 90. She still works every day. That gives me hope. My kids give me hope. There's so much goodness out there, man. There's so much goodness out there, and that's what gives me hope.
I agree with you. If you just look around, we just got to look for it. That's what we have to do. I always appreciate when people spend their time and share things. And this is one of my favorite questions. I have to ask you this question. This is what, and it's more of a statement, actually. Finish this statement for me, if you can. I know you can. I love my life because.
Yeah. I don't want to, because it's filled with love, and I learn every day, and I'm grateful. I've got so much goodness in my life, and sometimes it's never that I don't love my life, but sometimes I struggle, and I think that's so important as well here to tell. Sometimes I cry, or sometimes I feel terrible as well, or like, oh my God, I feel helpless when I see someone who's close to me that oh my God, I would wish you were, I wish you so much more happiness. then so I also have my frustrations and I sometimes get angry, and so it's all there. It's all there. But I love my life because it's filled with love, and I keep learning. And that's it, man. I mean, and yeah,
that's as good as it gets right there. I mean, that's it. You just hit it on the head. My good friend, I knew this was going to be an amazing conversation. I just knew it. I knew it from the beginning. I knew when we had our first private conversation, we connected online, and then we exchanged, and then we jumped on a couple of calls, and I know we both have had interesting journeys over the last 12 months. So that's why it even resonates more with me that you're willing to share a lot of that with yourself. I'm still working on that. That's a work in progress for me, just so you know. Like, for me, it's all about sharing and trying to be more transparent, in a sense of just allowing people to see the inside.
Peter, just to make sure, that also goes for me. So I mean, like I said, everybody fights. So people have their struggles, and so do I, just like anybody else. And
yeah, and that's why I have such empathy and compassion for people in general terms, because you just don't know the journey. You just don't know, and I got to always remind myself of that. Peter, you don't know. You have no idea what they're going through. So really important to share these kinds of conversations and messages. My beautiful guest right there. There he is, my people from around the world. He's located, there's where he's located right there. It's all about Bright Vibes today. There's the website, please. BrightVibes.com. Instagram, of course, you can follow on Instagram and Facebook, and also YouTube channel as well.
YouTube, LinkedIn. We're not everywhere, but that's where we are. Yeah.
We got you all along the bottom. We put you along the bottom right there. See that. Connect with you here, on the LinkedIn platform. So please, everybody can reach out that way and so on. And, again, the whole point of this is this is the older tagline, but I love the contagiously. I love things that are contagiously inspiring. And now it's about amplifying. It's amplifying great stories. It's about, again, using media as a force for good. And that's what we do here at Red TV. So I totally relate to that. I can totally relate to. Thank you so much for joining me. And listen, it's been a pleasure. I hope we get a chance to do it again.
Same here. I'm sure we will. I'm sure we will. So thank you, Peter, once more. And thank you, amazing Bright Vibers and amazing Red TVers. Thank you so much. I've had a blast. So we'll definitely see you all again.
Yeah, we'll definitely do it again. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And it's just been a great conversation. Thanks, everyone, in your comments. We're going to go into the comments. We're going to reach out to you. Appreciate for those who called in and texted me, and I didn't get to you. I apologize for that, but thank you for that. We'll do it again. Maybe we'll do a pure Q&A. We'll do something where a little bit more interactive this way. I just wanted to, I apologize. I was selfish with my time. I wanted to spend it with my friend. So I'll open it up more next time, that's for sure. But you certainly know how we are around here, and how we end the show always. It's just be kind out there, everybody. Just be kind. That's it. All we have to do. I'll see you on the other side, Michiel. Great to see you. All right, everybody. Take care of yourself. Have a good day. Hey, we'll leave you with a little kindness right now.
Excellent.
Be kind out there, everybody. Cheers. Found a new friend, and we traded a pen for this soccer ball. And I thought it was really nice because I just gave him the pen because he'd been helping me throughout the day to learn 𝗕𝗿𝗏𝗏. And he's a very smart boy, knows English very well. Very good English. Yes. So I gave him a pen, which they love pens, and 10-15 minutes later, he came back and gave me a ball for the trade. So I just thought that was really, really cool because I didn't ask for it. So 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. Yeah, pita. Yeah. So he gave me that. So I'm really, really happy about that. And I'll be bringing this back to Canada. And yeah, I thought it was awesome. He's a really, really, really clever kid. He's going to be an English teacher. Professor. Yeah. That's it. Thank you. Thank you.